Yo, 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 what is good? What is up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. I am going to quickly share with everyone that I'm live and I am excited to show you this tune that I actually started yesterday. It took me about 3 hours-ish, maybe 4 hours to write. So there's been this really interesting revelation that I'm going to be talking about here in a second. But I think before I talk about anything else, especially if you're just tuning into the stream or you're turning into the VOD, because I might leave this public, I am going to just play the tune and then I'll talk about what I'm going to be doing. But hot damn, let's go ahead and play what we got. I'm going to turn the mic off and then I'll talk about the project and then I'll continue working on it. So let's get it. So if that was at all interesting to you all, then I'm going to be talking about the project a bit and going through a couple of the things before I start working on it. But I think that for the simplicity's sake, it's definitely something that I really I'm going to be talking about that. I'm going to be talking about all that stuff. It is a little bit repetitive compared to what I usually try to write, but this tune was inspired directly from Sleaze from Ivy Lab. Also, what's up, WZ Mickey? This tune was inspired by Sleaze, and if you listen to Sleaze, it's like pretty much the same riff over and over again. So I try to just like ride the vibe out as long as possible, and try to really just just maintain it. It's about 2 minutes, so I think that like by the time it ends, it's like a good time to kind of transition out. And I was thinking about doing a second section, but I don't think that I want to do that. So this tune was really just 5 elements. So it was the kick. This was the first thing that I did yesterday, and then I did the snare, and I do a new. Every time you see this, I do a new, or every time I stream, I do a new like type of like drum kit or whatever. That's the snare. I recorded a snap like this. Hey Dash, how's it going, bro? So I recorded a snap like this, and I ended up just kind of making this. So pitching it down was kind of cool. Then I resampled the entire drum groove, and I found this like interesting. I use Snap Heap, and I like resample my drums and stuff, and so I just found this cool little like TikTok style of thing that's on every other snare. So it sounds like this. And it just kind of sounds cool when it plays like that, because it just gives it a little bit of like swing to it. But really the only other thing that's like keeping the groove outside of the melody itself is the hi-hat pattern. And this is actually just a phase plant patch that's really, really simple, but it has like the crispiness and a little bit of stereo on it from the drum processing on here. But this is super simple and it just works. Other than that, that's pretty much it for the drums. Like, this is a really, really short amount of tracks. So the main bass is this guy right here. And the big thing with this is pretty much just a detune Reese and making sure that you have a sub under it. So one thing that's super helpful is to, like, when you have a Reese, if you want to preserve or have a really clean low end, you can kind of do a little bit of a high pass and do that. Just send it through some distortion with some saturation. And then this is why this sounds super wide and super like thick. It's because there's a dual delay. Shout out to Kilohearts for this recent update, but a really short dual delay on the mids and a chorus. And then on the high end, WZ was talking about the crispiness, that's the fat trader, and then pulling up the dynamics. So the dynamics on the high end is pretty much like your OTT, but the cool thing about it is that it doesn't have to pull away from your lows and your mids, so you can just do upwards compression on that. That's a trick that I learned from Cage and from Zane. They do it in Ableton where they just pull up the high end, and that's something that she does as well. But for this, I was just like, all right, well, how do I do that in phase plant? And sure enough, it's pretty easy to do so. So yeah, outside of that, what gives the groove is there's time shifts on everything. I just kind of played this on my QWERTY keyboard, and I was just like trying to find a riff, and I was just like, all right, well, this is in D, so I was like, you know, just playing stuff like that, and this is what I ended up coming up with. So there's actually 4 different kinds of this bass though. And what I did was on the first end, I want to see if I did that or not. Yeah, I just have this like bass preset, and I just pulled up some racks, and so I bounced 2 different iterations of it. So the second one sounds like this, which is just like neuro processing, so it's just filtering. But it's cool because it's still playing the same exact riff, but it obviously sounds different, and it's from the same source, so it works. And then I copied it again and did like more of a classic Reese. And the reason why I did this was because for this guy right here. So the trade-off behind doing what I did with the first Reese bass is that whenever you supply the sub, you lose that movement. And so I brought the movement back and tried to reinforce that. And that way, whenever this plays, there's this contrast between this really wide bass that we have here, right? It's really thick, really thick. And then this one is really thin. But it kind of sounds more crunchy, and I think that's just a really cool contrast to have in between. So the last thing that I have on here is just this guy, and this is just a different like neuro rack that I have for my presets, and so I just send it through this. But this became more of like a subby square-ish. Like, I don't know, it's from this, but I don't know how that happened, but I mean, it works really well, and it sounds nice and noisy, so... Yeah, so the last thing that I kind of built off of this, because everything after what I show you is just a resample, or is just resampling. But with this is just one of the kind of basses and stuff that I do. I don't remember when I made this one. This was probably the only one. This is the only sound I didn't make from scratch, but this is like a versatile patch that I do I've got these for sale on my website, but if you kind of just play around with all of these guys, you end up getting some crazy stuff. So you turn all these off and you start with just this. Hold on, I gotta turn that back on. But yeah, doesn't sound all that interesting. Nothing special. But whenever you start to move this around, you end up getting some pretty cool stuff. So from all that, I kind of just like have, like, I purposely left a couple of spaces within this riff, as you can see here, for these kind of like, I guess, neurofills and stuff. Yeah, what up, Philippe? And so from that, I just bounced out a bunch of these and just kind of picked the best ones. And that's how we got some of the stuff that we have here. So it's, you know. Hey, Scorpio. Hey, Philippe. So that's pretty much just like the neuro basses. And from that, even without the musical stuff, like, because the musical stuff is incredibly quiet. There's only maybe a handful, like 2-3 things in here that actually is like making music and all that. But from that, like 90% of everything else has just been like resampling for texture and stuff. And so, through that though, like the whole point and the point of this project was for a couple of things. On one end, like, this project is actually about my brother. Yeah, so this project is actually about my brother. He used to have this funny walk that he did where he would lean back and kind of walk forward, but like this. And so I was just kind of thinking of something like that. But the other thing is that if you tuned into the master class from Monday, I realized that, like, when you're making this music, it doesn't have to be that complicated. If you just focus on like having a really solid, big, giant bass and very simple drums, like, you can end up getting some really high energy stuff. And I always wanted to do something like this because, like, the less elements and the more that you can make simple things bigger, the easier the project, but also like the easier it is for people to kind of be attached to it. And this is something that's probably, I would say, is probably going to be one of the most memorable tunes that I ever make, regardless of if it's good or not, just because the riff is simple and because everything is very easy to like hear, right? So, I mean, yeah, like, I don't know, man, this tune, like, I've already listened to this tune a bunch of times and it just hits for me. It hits. And even though I wouldn't say like it's anywhere close to, you know, something like Shades or like EEPROM, because nobody can do what they can do, I think that like taking inspiration, the right kind of inspiration, and focusing on specific elements of this is kind of what this is about. And tough as fuck. Are you planning on releasing this at some point? Yeah, so I've got an album that I'm working on. It's almost done. I've got 8 tracks, and I kind of want to do like one more, maybe 1 or 2 more. So that's kind of just one of those things that is it's coming. I just have been like, I've been submitting demos and stuff to labels and all that, and have been trying to just see like if anybody wants it. Does anybody want me? But yeah. So yeah, Alex says that like making simple but interesting tracks is there. Close my eyes, I couldn't tell the difference. You could tell the difference. I could tell the difference for sure. It's definitely present. But really, yeah, like making the essence of this is like why I was super stoked to make the MPC video that I did on Monday, which was like, for one, I did all the sound design in the MPC. I didn't do that on this, but I was like, oh man, if you really think about it and you really listen to it, like you can make really compelling tunes with just a few sounds. And if you already have the idea, or you already have the ability to resample, and you have the wherewithal to do that, then when you start messing with this and you start, changing or layering specific elements and stuff, like it really makes the whole tune pop. So like this, for example, is just kind of like a resample of the whole drum group. Right, but it's just, it's the same drum group or drum loop, but just resampled, and that's kind of serving as the intro. And so you don't have to like go super far within your sound design. You just got to focus on making like a few really, really good things, and then everything from that is kind of like downhill in a good way, right? It's all like, oh shit, now I just ride it out, and now I just kind of have fun. Because with this, like, there's a few things that I want to change around, like specifically with placement. So I'm not really sure if I want to keep the fills like all where they are. There might be too many. So there's that. And then also like this stuff isn't quite mixed the way that I want it to. So there's this guy. Which I might just change that timbre into something that's more like digital. And then there's also this guy, and this guy sounds really good when it plays well together with the riff. Like that sounds really cool to me. And so when you play that along with the bass, so yeah, I mean, part of that is like figuring out the proper mix within that, but it's still the same riff, right? So this is still the dun 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 dun. And one really big piece of advice that Cage gave me while I was taking lessons with him was like, if you don't know what to do and like you're out of ideas for whatever track you're trying to write, focus on reinforcing the groove. And that piece of advice stems into like a lot of different other aspects of music creation as well. So for example, the groove is already there, but rather than try to like add percussive elements to this, because there's hardly any, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, six tracks for the drums. You can reinforce the groove by like refortifying the melody or refortifying the bass or changing the bass up, but using the same riff. And that's something that, I believe anyways, there's something that I picked up on that people like Shades and stuff do quite a bit. So the less is more mentality works really well. And the other thing about this too is that, at least in my opinion, like the neurobasses and stuff that I've applied in here matter so much more, even though they're technically in the background, right? So as opposed to having something that's like, oh, this is the forefront, right? It's all neurobass, it's all that. Like, I think that the fills, like, they just, like, those things right there just have a much more natural fit, in my opinion. And I like that. I like when shit works out more than anything, but I also really appreciate like when you have this, I don't know, because I mean I spend all this time doing neurobasses and shit, right? And so, you know, when you make a bass sound that's aggressive and then you match it towards the neurobass itself, you start to build this relationship between the two that I think makes it a lot easier to implement, as opposed to just trying to write like a bass line with just this. So yeah, a couple of other things that I did was I just rinsed this entire tune through a few different like snap heap presets that I have, and it's just kind of this stuff. Same bass, but that's being ran through some reverb and bandpass, so that way it's kind of like, you know what I mean, creating tension. This guy is kind of the same thing, just with the snap heap rack. What up, Greedo? Same thing here. I ran the whole thing through this, so. Like that, this stuff, like that's fucking awesome. And I love doing this because when you send, like when you use like these crazy glitch racks and stuff and you send them through your master, at certain, not all the time, but at certain points, you get like hints at what the tune is, right? Just little moments like that. And so if you can find a way to toss that into your intro, like it's fucking perfect. So right, I should probably so the Eternum series has everything. It has the snap heap presets, it has the multipass presets, and then it also has the phase plant presets. But the way that it's designed is that it's got all the racks, that's like a whole thing, but it has the individual ones put together as well. So if you decide that you want to pick up one of the Eternum series and you end up getting multipass or you end up getting phase plant, then you have that, but you can still use those snap heap presets on their own. And I think that on like there's like 80 of them each one, maybe not on every pack, but you just have to look because I have the number there, but there's a fuck ton to kind of go through. And they're all useful to me. I usually just pull up one and just be like, all right, well, might maybe make a couple of tweaks to it, but it usually ends up sounding really cool. So hey Alex, how's it going, bro? But yeah, so like when you put this together with like this texture stuff with this riff, so yeah, it's really tricky keeping any section simple with less elements. You goated on this one. Oh, it's really tricky keeping any section. Well, that's what you like. The way that I see it is that the more that you can fill out the frequency space, the spectrum anyways, the more that you can fill out the stereo spectrum and the frequency spectrum, and then create a groove, like to me, that's the magic formula, right? So like if you're just using a sub, excuse me, I think that it's a lot more difficult, right? So if you just go like filter, oh, I'll cover that too because I've got some other stereo processing I forgot about. But if all you have is a sub, like it's cool, but it doesn't give you the whole story, right? At least not for this kind of music. And so when you have that, you've got everything that's kind of layered in that sense, and it's not even like that many, it's not even layered like that. It's just like having some frequency split effects. So again, just widening and then a little bit of distortion on the high end. That's how you kind of achieve that full blast, right? I will say that on the subby end of things, there's an amp, and then there's a little bit of like really, really short reverb. So if we listen to that, it's just this. And this is something that I picked up directly from Shades. I was kind of just studying and like just watching what they were doing. And a lot of times they'll, create like a really heavy kind of like saw or square or, like harmonically rich kind of bass. And then they'll create this short amount of reverb on the top with some kind of amp or distortion or something that helps make it super wide in that sense. And so I didn't think that the initial patch was enough, because if we were to turn this off, it still sounds good, but when you add this on top of it, it's just like, I don't know. I just think that it sounds like more crispy and more full in that sense. But I mean, that's pretty much almost the entire frequency spectrum. So you just get some nice drums that can kind of cut through that. And most of the time, like I usually have a lot of like crazy, like super swung percussion things. But for this, I think that just having the hat, right? Just the relationship between the hat and the main drums, I think like did it enough. Right. So, when you play that along with that, I mean, there's only 8 elements playing together. It's just those drums, this one bass, and then you have your fills, right? This was the neuro bass, but I turned it off. So like you really don't need much, at least in my opinion. I don't feel like you need much. Like if you listen to, what was I listening to? I was listening to Sleaze. That's what this tune was most inspired by. So what's your approach to incorporating melody into a bass track? So the way that I wrote this, I'm just going to loop this, is I made the drum groove first, and that's kind of what takes precedence. So if you do that, if you favor the drum groove, then is really just kind of playing around like that. But a lot of times there's a shit ton of latency that's happening right now, so I apologize. That's why I'm not really like doing a good job of whatever is happening. But the way that I do this is usually just try to play along rhythmically, more important than anything else. And like even if it's the same note, right, it's dun 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 dun. It's really just playing along to the percussion. And I wouldn't even say the kick and snare pattern, because this was the first thing that I started with, was actually this guy. But if you listen to this on its own and you just think about like one single bass line or one single bass note, like that's what you're trying to like bring into yourself. That's what you're trying to find to go along with that. And once you have, to me, honestly, like everything is a slave to the percussion. That's how I've been the most successful in this kind of music. With anything regarding halftime or like swingy beats. So the more that you prioritize like getting your groove, and I feel like it doesn't have to be the percussion, but I think it's the easiest. But the more that you prioritize the percussion being on that end, the more that everything else kind of fits along nicely with it. That's like your guideline. And I think the problem is like, if you aren't used to doing halftime, then like finding the groove for the kicks and snares can be pretty difficult, because it doesn't really connect, right? Because I think that's what most people start with, is like they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to try to make this kick drum snare pattern and then try to make this percussion that goes along with the kick snare. But I don't think that like I think that you have to do it in the other way. And that's something that Cage has taught me. And that's something that has been like a major turning point, hey, I mean, in making this kind of music better, or at least in me feeling like in me making music that I'm more happy with. So, but if you just listen to this riff along with the percussion, they should play along pretty nicely. And then of course the sidechain will kind of help like meld everything together. Yeah, thank you guys. Also, shout out to Dash. He just put out some really cool snap heat presets as well. And he's more so in the psytrance region, but definitely somebody that you should watch if you don't. He's more into, also uses Bitwig. But I would highly recommend checking his channel out. And then also Alex Reed as well. Alex Reed is a newer channel, but he's already got like almost 1,000 subs. And apparently his stuff is doing really well. So, which is great. That makes me happy. Thanks, super helpful. Scene look good? Scene look good? I'm sorry, what? So there is a few more things that I do want to do to this. Like there is a couple of like creative choices. Like I think in some cases I might add like a tambourine, and then there's this really cool like metallic texture that I have right here. And I kind of want to do like I heard it last night. I don't know if I'm going to hear it again today, but like, cause I didn't have the time to do it. I was pretty tired, but maybe somewhere through this section, like maybe in section 3 of just doing like, you know what I mean? Just like some kind of, well done Dash. I was on about Dash's presets. Yeah, like a counter rhythm. But I think that like something like that, I think would be kind of cool just to kind of have a little bit more interest in this particular part. And I think that it's fine. I don't think that it actually needs it, but that's just my nature of like touching things is sorry, that's my nature of like creative drive is wanting to like just make it as elaborate as possible. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find where that picks back up. Oh, here it is. So on this part, I'm just going to add one of these guys here. Also vouch for Alex's turn. Thanks, dude. Okay, so not this one. I want one that's a little bit longer. There we go. And I'm just going to dip this down a little bit. And then we're going to add Pro Q. Yeah, that's kind of crazy, so we don't want that. Maybe what I might do is send this through a chorus, and then I might just crush it and see what that does. I already made a bunch of presets inspired by our methods. Yesterday, we'll soon check out the Eternum stuff as well. Dope, dude. I'm glad that like you guys are finding stuff that's helpful. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to time shift this, and then we'll pan it. Make presets too more in the style of something fly, etc. on Trap Your Side of bass music. Okay, and then the other thing to keep in mind is that whenever we have these fills, we don't need the tambourine. Yeah, I think just for that section right there. And then maybe what I might do is bring this back in one other section. Like here. So now we've got a little bit more elaboration here because it goes like, you can see it's A, B, A, C, A, B, A, D. So with that, I think that's kind of cool to just have a little bit of, you know what I mean, variety there. I need them presets, but broke at the moment, but Xmas around the corner though. I feel that, man. Okay, so I want to find one of these metallic layers here. Tremoloed reverse could be sick to layer under the end bar fills. They're not tremoloed, but there's a lot of these. Faceplant boys in the house. Some of these guys. So they're there. You just kind of have to listen for them. There's this other kind of tremolo. It's not really tremoloed, but if you bounce something in cyclic mode, then you get a really sick texture that's like this. And that's just from, should be anyways, or it was. This should still be in cyclic. Yeah, this is just from cyclic and then messing with the formant, I believe. I didn't even mess with the formant on this one, but this was made by pitching the formant up, because this is actually this except stretched out. But that really like that kind of thing is just from the cycle. That sounds super cool. Okay, so that's what I was gonna do. Was I was gonna try to find something metallic. There it is. So I can let me see here. I'm going to turn this off for a second, and I'm just going to bounce this. It's such a dark color. And then I'll turn this back on. But what I'm going to do with this is cut this, and then maybe where this guy's playing. Yeah, so on this, we're gonna kind of just spread these out a bit. So give them some nice like off times. So we can even make them like more late over time. So let me see what that sounds like. Okay, it still seems a little bit too on time. So we're gonna try to see if we can push these a little bit later, like that. Let's see what that is. I guess you gotta make it hella late. There it is. That's fine. So let's see what that sounds like with this little section right here. Freak. How are your YouTube clip features going? Haven't been keeping up to date. Be flat out at work. Well, in my Discord, there's this section to where if you wanted to check on anything, it's already there. So this is the clip me section. So anything that I deem valuable is right here. I guess sometimes we do funny stuff, sometimes it's just other things, but if for whatever reason you guys find something like within the streams that you think is like valuable, or you think like you want to come back to, just clip it and post it here, and then I'll come back to it and then post it as a short or something like that. Cool, that's what I wanted. Cheers. Yeah, so there's a new clip feature, so if you guys want to like highlight something or clip something, just just hit the clip thing and then title it and post it there, and then I'll either repost it as a short, or I'll kind of like go back and record like however long that section is, because that helps me come up with content to upload. But I mean, yeah, it's like free content almost. It's not free content because I'm making it either way, but it's makes it a lot easier to sort through stuff for you guys, but it also helps me keep like uploading consistent, because not everybody is going to be seeing the streams, right? Thankfully, like there's a bunch of people in here. Hi everybody. But out of the 14,000 subscribers I have, 20 people are here. So, you know what I mean? I want to make sure that they can see that shit too. The next thing that I wanted to do is I kind of wanted to put some effort into this. And I think what I'm going to do with this guy is I'm going to move this over to the left. Yeah, it's a little crazy, so I'm going to try to maybe tame this just a bit. And I think the other thing that I'm going to do is add just like a touch of like really short delay, because I want it to be more metallic, more accessible for me when I'm on lunch break. Yeah, you could kind of just like skip to the good shit, right? So I get that. And that, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, well, I could ignore it, or I could be like, no, fuck that. Or it could be like, oh, it could be a useful feature. Okay, so I think that I'm going to try to squash the hell out of this and see what that does. And if anybody has any questions about anything, like, please feel free to ask. So it might even be cool after this to use a dual delay, like at a really small amount, because I think that I can handle it right there. If it's just a really small amount. Sick. What's my favorite color food? I'm going to bounce this and pitch this. No, I haven't changed my sidechain method on this. It's still the same. I'm going to see if I can do this here. What color are chips? Yeah, initially, I have this color set, which is just like a picture. I imported a picture of Samus. This one actually, and it's been not serving me so well. So I've just been using brighter colors like Ice Pop and stuff. Beige, that's my fave dash. Do you see color when listening to music? No, I don't have synesthesia. I wish I did. That'd be fucking sick. I would just like I think honestly, if I had synesthesia, I wouldn't even play video games. I would just like listen to music and be like, shit. A lot of times, whenever I'm coming up with clips, it's like the colors are arbitrary. It's really just a matter of having like some kind of contrast. Especially, it's important for Bitwig because unfortunately, like Bitwig doesn't have an algorithm to where like it'll make this like contrast. It's always black. So if your clip is black like this is, then it's like your waveform's still going to be black. So it's kind of important to be like, oh, all right, well, I might need to see what I'm doing here. You kind of get used to it, but at the same time, it would be nice if there was a little bit more contrast and stuff. But yeah, I'll probably have to go back and like manipulate my template again to a different color scheme. But that's why here I'm using a lot of like brighter colors. Once I saw on TV a guy that couldn't go to clubs because of the bass. He was seeing always black squares. If that's true, it sounds crazy. I believe it. Well, and you have to realize too, like going to a club is fucking loud. I don't go to clubs. Hopefully somebody at some club will want to play this shit. But if I'm there, I will most likely have earplugs standing in the back, just going like this. But yeah, synesthesia, I believe, is a thing. My therapist is, or my therapist, I don't have a therapist. My partner is a therapist, and she talks about that stuff pretty often. So, mono is black, dark as fuck. I can't help but see waveforms in music. That's pretty sick. I mean, write it, use it as a means of inspiration, like cultivate an imagination behind the waveforms, and that'll help guide you with your music making process. So I'm going to listen to this section really quick and just see how this kind of plays along and see if this works. Freudian slip, yeah. Maybe it might be cool to do just like another interesting effect right here. And that's really what it is like you pretty much, like the whole premise of this tune, I believe anyways, is you start with a super simple concept and from there you kind of just build like different fills and effects around the concept. So something like that could be cool. I'll probably want to do this a little bit shorter though, so. Okay, so I'm also going to turn this on here and then move this over because I just don't want the filter on there in general, so. And the other thing that we can do as well is we can kind of drown this out in reverb. So we can start here. And then let's take a look at where that is. Okay, so we'll go to the mix right here and set that up there and then just kind of pull that off. Do you check in mono during production or only when you're mixing? Yeah, I do. I don't have it right now, but I have a tool on here that will do that for me. wanted this thing right here. I'll have to see what's going on with the slide EQ, but I wanted this thing to be like more ghostly. Oh, that might be helpful. Maybe from there I can put a little bit more reverb on there now. And maybe I'll do that with before the gain. So you can use the gain as pretty much as like a custom transgate. The reason why I don't like using a transgate is because you can't use swing. And I wanted this to, obviously it has like, this has a different, like its own independent rhythm. Which sucks because I think the transgate could be a really cool tool. But from that, you can just make your own with an LFO because it's pretty much the same thing. And if you want it to be more like blocky, then you just create like a sequence with the LFO. Okay, let me see what that sounds like after the transgate. But it's just kind of a wisp, I think. That sounds kind of cool. Cool. So now let's fix this guy. I really like this rhythm here with this. Yeah, that sounds a little bit cooler. Let's see how that sounds. And maybe what I might need to do is pitch this up by 12 and see what that sounds like. So maybe just a little bit of noise will, maybe not. That's not too bad. So the way that I'm getting that texture is from automating a delay. And this is something that I do a lot in my snap heap racks. But if you actually have a set pattern on here, then it's always going to give you the same, like, it's always going to give you the same kind of like cool pattern pull, if that makes sense. So that's how you're getting the boop, 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 which I think is really cool. That's something that I was just like, oh, that could be kind of interesting to... Yeah, it's not really meant to be something that's like, you know, totally upfront, but I do want it to have just like a little bit of like character in it because this is like the last section of the tune. So let's see what that sounds like together. Yeah, I started last night. Yeah, I think it sounds pretty good in mono. Thanks, dude. Yeah, it's just a little jam, and I think that's like one of those things of like just trying to again simplify. And I tried making a bass like this a few days ago because I was like, oh, I could just make riffs like that. Sorry, I could just make riffs like this and then toss it into the MPC. And then I was like, wait, but if I'm just making simple basses, then I could just make it within the MPC on its own right. And then taking inspiration from that, I was like, oh, well, if I'm just going to make simple basses, then I could make like a full production tune in Bitwig with taking some similar inspirations from that. And so that's kind of, yeah, I don't know. It's crazy like how shit feeds off of each other like that, if you let it, if you let it. And that's kind of what's really fun about all this is like, one thing leading to another and being like, oh, can I do it in this? Oh, I could do it in this. Oh, I could do it this way. And now like whenever this is done, I could bounce out the stems and then like chop that up and then you know what I mean, just play these different riffs. Like this could be one sample, this could be another, or a loop rather, this could be a loop, this could be a loop, and then I can just practice alternating. And then yeah, I don't know, man, it's really fun and really interesting how all this stuff feeds off of each other. I do want to do a funny vocal on this. So back in the day, like, do you guys have siblings for one? And did you guys ever play games back in the day, like together, maybe like a one-player game or something where like you guys would just talk shit to the game? One of my friends, we're no longer friends unfortunately, but one of my old friends, we used to have this joke where like when people would mess with us in whatever game we were playing, right? Like someone's starting shit, like take Dark Souls for example, and somebody's like trying to kill you, like one of the like basic zombies or something. We had this thing that was like, you think you're gangster? And so that's gonna go into the tune. But yeah, this tune was inspired by my brother actually, just because this is if I were to describe him, I don't really like I'm gonna bring my brother on the channel at some point. which he has been. We've done like Pokemon card openings and stuff if you've been around for a while. But yeah, I'm going to bring him on at some point and get him on a podcast because he's on the other side of the country. But yeah, like we just have like a bunch of these sayings and stuff that I just kind of want to leave in here for references and all that. I think would be really fun. And he doesn't really like this kind of music. This isn't his thing. He's more of like a trap, you know, yeah, I guess like trap and like heavy rap type of person. But even still, I think it's pretty funny. Gamer words. Yeah, I'm trying to think about other shit that we used to joke around about, but that was one of the funniest things about my other friend and I, is that we had so many like inside jokes and so many things with that. And that's kind of what I want this album to be about. So like if you look, how do I say this? All right, so like the big thing with this whole album is like, I think that this is the closest to like me feeling like myself that I've been as far as musical expression. And so that's why like I'm going through the name change. That's why I'm going through that's why I've spent so much time on halftime music. And from that, like I'm able to kind of pull together a lot of my inspirations and a lot of things from that. And so like the first track of this is the abstract tune that I made in Oklahoma, which is called Reanimate. And that's like totally going to throw people off from what the rest of the album is like, because it has nothing, almost seemingly has nothing to do with it. But this entire album is based off of like video game references or inside jokes or things about my personal life that like I've experienced, or like that I want to bring to the music side of things, right? So Eyes Wide is a complete bite off of Cheese Operator Bludgeoning, which is almost comical. Soul Steel, that's like Alucard's, like, you know what I mean, main spell that pretty much breaks the game of Castlevania. Dopplegangster is my brother because we look alike, but my brother is much more well, we grew up in the hood, and sometimes you might leave the hood, but the hood never leaves you. Post-resurrection shower, so like the Reanimate side of things was me doing the name change from Alckemy to ALUCARD, which the channel will still be Alckemy, but I want you all to like, if I'm teaching, I'm under Alckemy. If I'm doing music, it's under the ALUCARD name. But post-resurrection shower is just meant to be like a skit. Phantoms is just kind of a cool little, like, you know, it's kind of plays along there. Blood Cloak, that one was probably the hardest tune of the track as far as like the energy. And then Wall Chicken, like if you've played Castlevania, you know what the fuck a wall chicken is. And this one in particular is funny because it's an 8-bit halftime tune. So yeah, I do. So like this is like a total homage, like throwback to like old school, like it's chiptune, but it's halftime. So like I thought that was really fun. And this was a tune that I actually wrote like almost 2 years ago, I want to say, but I never released it. So I was like, oh, this is perfect for this album. So nothing like rotting chicken that has been in a wall for God knows how long to regenerate all your health. Yeah, so I think that I still haven't figured out what I'm going to title the album name, and I still want to do one more track called Gray Fox. And I don't know how, like I don't know what type of tune that I want to do that with, but I think that would be really cool. And I want to do just like one IDM track, because there's not one on this, but that's, you know what I mean, just kind of something that I want to add into this. But I mean, yeah, almost every tune on here I've made entirely on stream. I'd say this tune that we're working on here, this one is Dopplegangster. This was the only one that I did like most of the work on last night. But the vocals that I have on here are like stuff. Like stuff like this. Like that's me, but I'm not really like rapping over it. Yeah, so stuff like that. I don't really have the confidence, nor do I feel like it would fit the aesthetic to just do like clean vocals, but being able to weaponize your voice to do like cool ad libs and stuff is a lot of fun, and very fun for stream too. So let me see here. There was a couple notes that I wanted to do to this. Okay, I did that. I did the 4/4 kick. I'll just show you my notes. I did the 4/4 kick, replace bass 3 with bass 1. I did that. We don't need that. Switch the fill sections. That might be, I might do that next. Actually, no, I'm going to record vocals first, and then I'm going to do some resampling and just like add some character to this stuff. So that's on the to-do list. Halftime with clean vocals could be a thing. I think that does exist. Yeah, like, excuse me, I wouldn't call it halftime, but when Neurohop was still a thing, Copycat has Survive with Maxim. Throw me in deep, I'll get on the vibe. Soon as the drum beat hit when I grind. Something like that. That's me, guys. I'm off to watch the football. Okay, dude. Yeah, there's Evoke stuff too. Does he still make tunes? Evoke, that's Frequent's friend, right? I want to say. Did he do vocals with him? Yeah. I don't know. Love that Copycat track. Hey, McKitty. Long time no see, dude. Alright, I'm going to record this quickly and be stupid, but... You think you're gangster? I didn't record that. Fuck. Yeah. Let me just do this. Yeah. My friend called me that, like, he called me like that one time. Ziku. And I was like, man, I'm going to steal that. You think you're gangster? You think you're gangster? I'm gonna have to do that because I screamed into the mic, but let's try that one more time. You think you're gangster? You think you're gangster? Okay, I know that sounds crazy, but it's gonna make sense when we get to this part. You think you're gangster? You think you're gangster? Hey, no I didn't. Yeah, and yeah. Oh shit! Sorry. My bad. It was supposed to be like something more reminiscent of like an amp or something. Let me see if I can find one that's not so fucking crazy. Or I could just do an amp in general. Holy shit, I wasn't paying attention to jump. I'm sorry, let me turn this down for you. My bad.
You think you're gangster? You think you're gangster?
Yeah, that's more so what I was hoping to find. And then maybe we can add just a stupid convolution of this with a small cabinet.
You think you're gangster?
Yeah, and then we can pitch this down and change this to like cyclic mode. Maybe not that one. Maybe Elastic Pro.
You think you're gangster? You think you're gangster? You think you're gangster?
Yeah. And then we can kind of like drown that out. Well, first of all, let me EQ this. No. Sorry. This is why like recording vocals is so entertaining, because like you know what I mean, like it's my voice, so you kind of just have to roll with it. Sounds like when you're on FT and your friend's Wi-Fi is ass. You got that McDonald's Wi-Fi mic. Oh shit, that's really funny. Okay, so the next piece of this is we need to compress the shit out of this. Okay, I'm also going to grab the mix of this because I want this to like cut off like right here. Hey Deja, how's it going, bro? So that way we'll just cut the tail off and then maybe do that like right there. Nice bass sounds on this one. Thanks, dude. Hey, most excellent. Yes, it is. Yeah, the tune goes by super fast, so it's just a joy to listen to. It just, like I said, it just reminds me of my brother when he's walking all slow. he just, like I said, he has this thing. Have you guys seen Powerpuff Girls? Um, there's an episode with the boogeyman, and like he steps out of the limo and he's like walking like this, like hella lean back, and like my brother does that. It's so fucking funny. And so this tune just reminds me of him. Just he has the CJ strut. Yeah, exactly. It's so funny. Maybe if my brother is feeling up to it, he'll film a video of him doing that, and then the music video will just be him walking in different sections of just him in and out of different places. No, it's worse than that though. Like, well, not worse, but like it's. Hold on, let me see here. Let me pull up OBS, and then I'm gonna move this around. So like, he walks like this. And that's what I'm saying. So like, you know what I mean? Like when the track hits, that's yeah, when the track hits like that, you know, it's so fucking funny. But you know, like imagine that walk with this tune, and there's that. There's a couple more ad-libs that I want to throw in here, but I'm not really sure what to do. Does anybody have any suggestions about maybe something cool? One thing that I was thinking about as well is have you guys heard Zwindle from Disprove? Like there's this wait, I don't even remember the fucking riff, but it's like program pitch bend on the bass. No, I think there's plenty of pitch bends on that. I was talking about for ad-libs specifically, but I think this is fine. No, not that. I think the riff is fine though. Hold on. Pretty proud I didn't use one exponential rhythm in this tune, but yeah, I'm trying to think about what other vocal thing I could add to this. But I guess the next piece that I'll do is I'm actually going to do some sound design, because I do want to swap out some of these and maybe not have so many fills, because I think they're also all unique. And I don't think that they need to be. I'd rather have something that's going to fortify the groove a little bit harder. So we'll do that. Does anybody have any questions on anything by chance? Could save them for live stuff? Save what? Oh, this is actually already pretty, yeah. True. Okay. I think that I'm just going to use this waveform because I think that it already sounds pretty good. So what I'm going to do now is just do some processing on this and get the thing done. Actually going to set that here. And then I'm going to apply that to there. Need to turn this guy on. I'm going to set this to go the opposite way. Let's see if we can get some boosties here to kind of bring some of this stuff back up. Do 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 do. Just a little bit of distortion there. Okay, now we're gonna grab this guy and just fuck this up. So what I'm doing is I'm just listening to this frequency range and just kind of there we go. Have I found any cool use for the newer channel mix snap-in for kilohearts? Yeah, it's a really good way to get some really big stereo out of stuff. So absolutely. I have a video or a stream anyways that covered it. I'm gonna have tutorial or I guess like reviews on them. But I haven't done them yet. But yeah, the channel mixer is really cool. It's a really easy way to get like mid-side stuff. Although you can do mid-side stuff anyways. So there's that, but what else is there that's really cool? Oh, nice. But it's also a way that you can like have like really just like, yeah, I'm gonna use it, so you'll see. we need a really small amount of convolution reverb on this. And by small, I mean like really small. Like this much. There we go. Just a touch. That's all you need. And then on this guy, we're going to do probably some... You want to be careful like where you filter here, because this is like your squelchy region. So if you see... So I typically like don't do a lot of stuff here with that. Like very minimal, if at all. And I used to use band passes. It's too much. But I don't do that anymore because it actually ends up making the sound too dark, ironically. Even though this is in the, what is this region? Yeah, 1.4 to like, this is like the scary region, because this is also where like the vocals, or like where you recognize stuff the most, I guess. But if you are kind of sparing with it, then you can find a happy medium. And I know that I'm not teaching what I'm doing right now, but that's because I've got a billion tutorials on how to do this. So there's that, but... Here we go. Okay. Now we're going to grab a couple of these guys. And we're going to kind of do something like that. Now on this one, this is our mid signal right here. So I'm going to just pull this down from the top end like that, and then make it faster because you want it to be relatively quick. There we go. And then this is our side signal here already, so we don't actually need that snap heap thing. But we are going to do a different filter from this. So that way these are working independently of each other. Oh, that's the other thing, is we need to turn the jitter up on this as well. So okay, now that we have that though, we can pretty much do whatever we want to this and just fuck it up pretty much. I'm going to pull this back very carefully, because as you can tell, this gets really crazy if you... There we go. Okay, I'm going to slice this. Slice it. Slice EQ. Although I don't know why it's called slice. It doesn't really do a whole lot of slicing. You're not really doing much slicing there. So we can kind of just let this run rampant. We can add chorus here. We could do that too. Sure, why not? But we're kind of just... But why do you apply the effects before splitting Midsite? Because if you do it post Midsite, it's not going to do anything. So it's a great question, but if you move all this shit to the outside of this, especially like if it's just a mono signal, like you're not going to get anything. Yeah, so you want to do it before. And then the other thing with this is that I'm high passing this, so to make sure that like none of this stuff is interfering with the mono signal. There we go. That's what we want right there. Damn, that dual delay is fun to look at. Yeah, dude, I really like the new dual delay. It's kind of weird to work with, but if you stick with it, it's pretty damn sick. Oh, that's the other thing I need to do on that. I forgot. That's important. So we're gonna turn the bits down on this a bit. There we go. That way we just get nice crunchiness. Crunchy, crunchy. So I map the speed to this macro here. Then this macro is mapped to the speed, and this speed is mapped to a note, which is here. So anytime I play a higher pitch range or I do a pitch bend, everything is going to move faster. So that might be helpful. Yeah. So I'd like these to move a little bit faster, because this pitch whip movement and stuff is what's going to help make this more interesting, I guess. No, there's a little bit of crazy shit, so I'm gonna. Hey, decline. Okay, so instead of boosting this all the way to 100%, I think that's part of the reason why it's making like such washiness. I don't really want that. A little bit is good, but I don't want like a whole bunch. And then I'm also going to move this here. Actually, I'll move it here so that way. There we go. Hey, is Mike there? Wait, I know you. Hi, Mike. So, yeah, that's just one thing that you could do, and then you could obviously like move this around and stuff. And it's going to sound different in different pieces and stuff, but that's kind of the fun of it, is to kind of just mess around and see what's going to sound good where. And then part of it too is kind of just adjusting this to and it kind of sounds like a little bit like mushy right now because we're playing a low D. So I mean, by the time you get there, it's going to be kind of fucked up. But if we were to set this to, that sounds a little bit better. And then, but if we were to play a little bit higher of a note, say like F or even the other thing that we can do as well is we can grab something like this and kind of just change the pattern. So And then you can slow it down if you want. Sick. Nice. Okay. So the next piece of this is to turn this off, and then we're going to turn the generator on. And now we're going to process the generator. So what I'm going to do is... How did I do this beforehand? I'm trying to remember. I did like a mid-side... I did like a mid-side thing, but I did it with the other one instead. I think it's fine. I'll just do it this way. I'll set that to like 12, and then we'll move this one over here. And so we're gonna so here's our low, like this is our low, this is our high, and then we're gonna process this with mono stuff, and then we're gonna do mid-side processing to it as well. So the big thing is to kind of just obviously just destroy this, which is ideal, but for now most of the stuff that's going to be on here is just going to be like mono effects. Sorry, can't talk. But if we were to change the rate of some of this and maybe manipulate the delay and then get into doing some other delay stuff, that might actually be cool. I wonder if I can feedback, tone, spread. Oh, I can make this mono. Sick. So I can kind of mess with this in this way. Mess with this one here. Like that. And then pull the feedback down. And then fuck with the feedback. Maybe turn the duck up. Yeah, the new visuals for delays are pretty. Cool. So we'll just do that and then see what comes about from there. And then we'll get into some filtering. That's cool. And I don't really care with this. It's just kind of like do whatever you want. Kind of like that. And then maybe some space here to just do mono. So take a listen. I guess I do have some stereo stuff in here, but if I were to not have anything stereo on here, which maybe the disperser is what's causing that, but in this mid side, if I were to have stuff that was not like in stereo, then nothing would be coming out of this if you were to post things after this. Actually, it still might not, so let me see if that's going to do anything. Yeah. So, yeah, there's no reverb here, right? But if you post it before, so that's why you put all the effects before the mid-side EQ. That also hurt like a bitch. I'm gonna do some bit crushing here. Make it all nice and crunchy. Crunchy, crunchy. I'm gonna pull this down and go up instead. And we're almost done, but we're gonna see how this turns out here in just a second. Do some chorus again, 100% spread. Maybe just adjust the depth on this one. First time on the live stream? Hey, Acolyte Media. Welcome, dude. So I'm going to see if I can create just a little bit of convolution on this, because I want it to be, it's already kind of like sounding a little bit monstrous. So when you kind of have a reference like that, you can start to kind of play with it in that sense. Maybe not that much, maybe like this much. But sometimes by doing that, you can get some cool textures. Maybe. There we go. So now when we add this with the original filtering, we should get some hopefully cool textures. There you go. So when we turn this on, we're gonna focus on this just a bit now, because I want this to be like a really huge downbeat bass. So I'm gonna turn this off for a second and just focus on this part. What we got here? So what's interesting about this is we're just getting that, and we don't really want that. So maybe we can see if we can try to make this more of an impact. And then what I'm also going to do is duplicate this again and see if, or change some of this stuff to see if I can maybe make it not so like flabby. See how it's just kind of like, well. That's better. Now we'll try the fold back. So the thing with these is that whenever we turn this off, it's going to turn off these distortions. But whenever we turn on the other stuff too, these kind of all play in tandem with each other. And that's just the way I have this template set up, is that the filter is already on, and then you'll see over time this is attached to an envelope. So that's how you get that really interesting, like, hey Das. So what I might also do is I might do, sorry, I'm just looking here, but I might do another layer with this where it's just here to turn this on. And this will only turn on whenever the downbeat is on. So when it's off, you see that it's there. But that way we can actually focus on this. Let me turn all this other shit off again and just listen to this. And then I could just detune the shit out of this. Now, maybe, I'm not really sure, but maybe. And maybe I can actually put this above and then just do like a filter on this. There we go. So maybe we can also do a sub as well. Because again, I'm trying to find, I want the impact to be like, so I'm going to also set this to 100% here. And go like that. And then we're going to set this envelope to like this. And then we'll just see what that does. Can you actually save these sounds within FacePlan, or when you use Multipass and the other one, Snap Peep, is it called? Does that just need to be saved in the DAW project file? So the way that I do it is, like we did this one from scratch today, but I just place, like, I know that most of you guys haven't heard this tune because most of you guys are just coming in, but this is the tune. And you see that I just put it right there. Hey Flesh, what's good, bro? Yeah, so that's the tune. So what I'm doing now is just going back and replacing some of these with this original bass that we made. So what I might also do though is try to speed this up. Yeah, so try to get some stuff kind of like that, and what's it called? Just kind of replace some of that shit with some of these with some of this stuff. Do I really like this kick? Yeah. Fuck yeah. I think it works. I think it's perfect for this tune. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to resample some of this. Actually, I'm not even going to do that. I'm going to be so fucking lazy with this. And I'm going to copy this. Wait. I'm going to do this. And then just paste it here. And then I can just bounce this. You don't like my kicks, bro? It's fine if you don't. It's kind of one of those things where like it's both the kicks and snares are just like square waves. So, you know, not everybody is going to dig it. And that's one thing that is, I would just say, is very different about like a Shades kind of tune, is that like their drums are usually like really clean. This tune was inspired by Sleaze, and if you listen, they're just like really clean 808s and stuff, like a 808 kit, not 808 bass, but really clean 808s. But for me, like I don't know, I like shit that smacks. I'm over here defending my sound design. Let's see what this sounds like instead. Yeah, for some reason you can, as you can hear, like it, like we kind of just got the mud. Sounds cool. Oh, that might be helpful. That's why that sounds like shit. Is because those were going at the same time. I was like, what the fuck? Oh, the other thing too is you probably hear reverb right now. So if I were to turn this, the drum isn't so like everything isn't so reverb. But you probably hear the mic bleed from my speakers, so that could be what you're talking about. All right, what happens if I pitch all of these up? Well, that sounds interesting. Okay, I think I can actually use this for something else. So, I was talking about earlier that I wanted to like find some kind of like callback or some kind of call and response to the drums. Gotta go for now. Bye, Alckemy. Yo, Alex, thanks for coming in. Yeah, so maybe if we added a vocoder to this. Baba. 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 Maybe a gate. Then maybe like some trash. It's too much. Okay, that's kind of cool. Maybe we can EQ this. And the rhythm isn't quite there yet, but I think that we can manipulate it. But what I'd like to turn this into is like a doo doo. Something like that. And then we can convolve it. Carbon. What am I doing? Okay, so I kind of want to see what this is going to sound like within this. So we're going to solo the drums here. And I kind of just want to see if this is going to be like a cool thing that I can add at the end of every bar. Bit unrelated, but do I organize my sample packs or just one folder with all of them in it? It depends. If you're talking about like something that I'm selling, then everything has folders. If it's just my stuff, I usually do all my sound design like from scratch within the project, so the samples are just like whatever's in the project. What might be cool is doing this. Yeah, like a hard pan on each one. It's not quite what I want it to be, but it's getting closer. Yo, Stefano. Nice. Yeah, let's see if that plays along well. Does it sound like there's too many layers on that last snare? Same to you, dude. Thanks. Yeah, so I mean, I know that it's not, I'm not Shades, and I'm not trying to be Shades, but I think that for the most part, I think that like the style, anyways, or like the inspiration is clear. I'll say that much. Yeah, I think that the inspiration is at least there. There we go. That's fucking funny. I think my brother will appreciate that if he recognizes it. All right, so I'm gonna record just like a couple of things in here, like yeah, or shit like that. So see if I can like maybe apply some of those other things in there. I'm trying to think if there's any other funny phrases that I thought would be. I got a few. So we've got bleh, we've got yeah, we've got what. You think you tough. Have you guys seen that? From Don't Be a Menace to Society While Drinking Your Juice in the Hood. So there's going to be, some other references in here. Yeah. What? You think you tough. Bleh. Go. Do my eyes deceive me? I'm seeing double. Oh, that was pretty good. Wow. Do my eyes deceive me? I'm seeing double. Okay. Well, what we can do with this is take out most of this. That was on time. That was crazy. Sniff. Yeah, my brother's favorite saying is bleh. So, have you guys seen I Am Weasel? It's an old cartoon. Yeah. Yeah. That's a very. Yeah. 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 Michael who? Yeah. it's almost like pathetic. It's like yeah. Worf. Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. Okay, I think what I'm gonna do is before I start trying to apply this shit, I think that I'm just going to set this up here. And oh shit, not yet. Almost. I'm gonna take off all the flabby flab. Yeah. Do I play my beats in? They have this like bagginess that I like. They don't feel locked to a strict grid. Sounds like if Copycat got bullied in school more as a kid. That's fucked up. Hopefully he didn't. Andre is such a good person that I would never want to see anything bad happen to him. No, well, yes and no. So like I practice on the MPC, but like when it comes to making these beats like this, what it is a couple of things. For one, it's not necessarily like off grid. Some stuff is, but you can see like the snare is on, and then the kick is always on the one. But part of what makes the groove is time shifting. So like track delay rather. And then also like the kicks is what I kind of place freely. I guess the hi-hats too. So the hi-hats have a combination of both. So if you look right here, the hi-hats are off grid. Well, every other hi-hat is off. And this isn't a rule of thumb, but it's like every other hi-hat is kind of like off and fucked up. That kind of fits perfectly on like a single bar. So if you listen to this, but I also have track delay on this. So that kind of helps it like have a little bit of momentum. But basically I place the kicks where the hats are. So that way, right? So there's that. But really what it comes down to is like, if you want to make beats like this, the best way I could describe this to you is to be a slave to the percussion. I think that I already made one of these, I want to say. Maybe. No, it's that one. I thought that I already did. Maybe I did one on the drums. I did. Okay. So I'm going to save this as drum processor 2. And then I'm just going to move this to the vocals here, wherever that is. It's all the way down here. Yeah. So what I can do now is just set up a resampling channel. Okay, overdub is on. I hope that this is fixed. I haven't actually tested this to see if the new update fixed this or not, but... Ignore that. But what I am going to do is not record this. We're going to record this. There we go. Nope. What happened here? Oh. Yeah, okay. Alright, now we're good.
Go.
Please? Why? Why? I hate that, dude. Well, in any case, we got some good ones, so that's fine. But yeah, that's really irritating. Like, that's fucking cool. So we can kind of come back into this, and we need to throw this into the sidechain. I'll probably throw this into the percussion, actually. Here. And where did that go? It's over here. Yeah, we can just find a place to put this. And then maybe not there, but maybe right there, actually, because everything kind of clears up. I actually like that one better, so maybe we can take that one instead. Or maybe just repeat it on the other one. Yeah, it's hard because like this fits within the same like frequency spectrum, so I'm just trying to find like little spaces for it to see if there's anything there that like that's a good place to put that. And then this would be a good place to put this instead. So that go, right? And then instead I can move this over here and like and then I can just leave this here instead and just let that ring out. You just take a blade and throw that over there. So there's a space right there. Maybe. Might make another one here. Yeah. Have you ever experimented with complete throw-off sections where I surprise a listener introducing complete contrast with elements that haven't been introduced yet in the track but fit just as well? Yeah, I think so. Like if you listen to Soul Steel, there's a bunch of shit in here. So But in the second part, so I think that's what you're talking about, right? Yeah. This is the only tune that I've ever done that's anything like this. Yeah, it's basically remixing the track. Yeah, it's just got a bunch of sections that kind of have that kind of vibe, I guess. But the thing with it is this is like, I've never done a tune like this before that's like more simple. So I'm kind of just trying to like experiment and see like how I can just pretty much ride the riff. I think that's the best way that I could explain this. All right, let's crush it. Okay, let's see how that sounds. Okay, sorry. That needs to be like there. Yeah. we'll probably do a delay on that as well. I'd really try to save automation for the end. Because I fucking hate automation. Yeah, I don't like that shit. Wait. So, I mean, yeah, the tune is pretty much, I need to like mix it, but it's just about done. Does anybody have any questions about anything? Want to listen to it again? I love this tune, so it's just like so like fun and like bouncy that I really enjoy just like. I'm gonna turn my mic off for a sec. So there's that. I think now I'm just gonna do a slight mix check, and I think what I'm also going to do is like I've done a couple of tunes on the halftime master classes and stuff that I have, but I think what I'm gonna do instead is just go through my album, because I've made all these tunes already and been like, oh, here's this example, but at some point I'll probably just do like these track walkthroughs or whatever of each one of these, at least most of them, because no, I can do each one of these. Yeah, I could do that. And then that way I can just be like, okay, so you have all the tools now, here are the patterns, or here's like how I've done all this stuff. No, it would be part of the halftime masterclass series, because I've already got like all of the like, how do I say, like I've already got all of the like technical stuff there of like, here's how you make the kicks, here's how you make the snares, here's how you make bass. But I think that doing it this way, as opposed to trying to like walk somebody through a whole tune, I'll have all the technical things and then be like, here's some extra information, and here's just like a breakdown of each track that I've done. So I think that would probably be the best way to go. Basically the sound design part and how to compose it part. Well, I've already done that. I've also done like on my master classes, I've done like how to sound design. Then I've done the actual like how to compose and like how to come up with bass lines, how to write stuff. So I've already done the compositional part. Now it's more of a sense of here is how you like, here are some examples. Because I already have that. I'm like, here's how you construct a beat. Here's how you lay down bass lines. Here's how you like go from, I've done like 1 or 2 videos on there where like I start from nothing and like just sketch a tune. And it's a shitty tune, but at the same time, like that's, you know, that's kind of part of it. Like you can only do so good in the moment, but you still get, the process is still the same. So yeah, as this continues to kind of get better and better, then I can be like, all right, well, here's like my better work, and here's how you can kind of, you know, take inspiration, or here's examples, because this one, and this one too. Actually, these are all halftime tunes. The only non-halftime tune is Reanimate, and this is just like it's more of like an intro / interlude. But like I said, I still want to do one more tune. I want to do one that's like an IDM tune, because I haven't done one of those in a long time. So I kind of want to see if I can do something like that and do all that stuff. But yeah, does anybody have any questions? That's not bad. Wow. Hey, Leakum. No, I'm working on it. I mean, I've done most of the tunes on stream, so most people have. Oh, what is that? Most people have like heard some of it, if not all of it. Actually, if you're a member, then you can go listen to it right now. It's on the Discord. But yeah, all the tracks that I'm working on anyways are available in the member section of the Discord. And then anybody that is a member, a current member, because I don't have any way to keep track of that and I don't want to try to chase people down, but anyone that's like at least an Ether member, I'm just going to give you guys the album. But yeah, it's in here in the unreleased tunes, so you can kind of take a look if you're into that stuff. If not, that's fine too. It's weird, man. Like talking to people like they're supposed to care about this shit is really like a strange thing. Visually speaking, do I aim to achieve a flat frequency spectrum? Not exactly. I just try to have something that's not like insane. So there's a couple of things to fix in here. Like that guy. And I already know what that is. I'm fairly certain that all of those crazy things are from these basses, which I tried to use with some multi-band compression, but here's my hunch. And the more that you do this, the easier it usually is to figure out what's actually happening. But I don't think it's the vocoded stuff. I think it's this stuff. You might be right, actually. But I still think it's this. Yeah. Yeah, see, there it is. But that's okay, because I know how to fix it. I've got this little guy here. That's supposed to be in here. Let's see if that helps. Nope. Fuck. What is... I'm pretty sure that's what that is. Yeah. That's that guy. Oh, okay. Well, that's just so, like... This is so, like, that... Okay, that's fine. Okay, yeah. So I think that helped a lot. And then really it's just trying to, for the most part, mixing is just trying to be mindful of stuff like that. Yeah, it's still there, which is crazy. Crazy that that's popping out. And I wonder why, because I'm pretty aggressive on that, but... Let's see if that fixed up. Okay, now let's see what that is. Might be that as well. Maybe, we'll see. No, drums are good. Yeah, that's definitely possible. For sure. But I think that it's just this. I think it's just this guy. This guy is fucking hella shrieky. Yeah, did you see it? It's right there. It's very short, but... Yeah, now it's gone. So hopefully that helps out. So this one's crazy too. I gotta fix that. Or maybe there's something else in there that is crazy. Is it something with the drums, maybe? Perhaps? Nope. It's these guys. So we'll take a look and see if anything's popping out of that. Well, it doesn't look like it, but I don't know, maybe that will help. Dude, this is sounding insane. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. So that means that, like, when my album drops, you guys are gonna listen to it, right? Because nobody listens to my music. So, granted, like, I've never made anything like this before, but like, is it okay to, like, promote it like it's gonna be dope, or like, I don't know. What does somebody do about that? Without coming off as a ignorant or arrogant asshole. Please go listen to my music. That's all I have to say when this album drops. Yeah. So, I'm trying to use my ears more than anything, because this is a little bit all over the place. Well, you know my opinion about your music. I basically can't hear where you and the top guys are different and close to that level of your track you make. Thanks, dude. I appreciate it. It's coming together, I think, and then I spend so much time on music that I'm hoping to kind of be half as good as the people that I listen to. But yeah, man, you really know the sound. Thanks, dude. Yeah, at the beginning of the stream, I kind of went through all the sounds and stuff. So if you're curious about anything, or you could always ask as well. But the whole point of this tune, which I actually made it more complicated than it needed to be, I believe. But yeah, the whole point of this tune or whatever was to try to have like as little elements as possible and have everything be like super big. So I'm having second thoughts about the kick, to be honest. Like, I'm curious as if I were to just like clip this a little bit more, if that would affect it, because that might be able to make everything a little bit bigger. I'm kind of curious as if I did this. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. I think that's just more of a stylistic choice than anything. Clipping the drums. But it can handle it, so if it needs to. But Yeah, I like big sounds. Big sounds, big sounds. I wonder if I can get away with crushing this a little harder. Maybe. I might be able to make this tune even louder if... Let me see if this is gonna work. Hashtag loud tunes. See, I'm kind of curious as to what these things are, though. Yeah, I think there's some play within that, and that's kind of like the mixing aspect of this, right? Is to try to find some shit within this that's doing the thing. But if there's anything that's still like crazy peaking, I suppose I could run it through like I could run this through Soothe. But if the mixdown doesn't look like Cyclops Mega Optic Blast Marvel vs. Capcom, then it's not loud enough. I know, right? It needs to be fucking Doctor Doom. Hyper beam. Hyper. But which I don't really know if I want to do this or not, but this is like the mixing process of this, is to just be like, oh, how does this sound? Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's kind of just like, all right, well, you know, how do I want to color this? But I think for now, this is why I fucking hate mixing, is because there's a lot of choices in here that I'm like, oh, I don't know. But the sub is good. It sounds good in mono. That's probably the second most important thing. And I don't really feel like there's anything in here that's like, my ears, or like something that's too noticeable. Yeah. Sounds good. So,
Recording to logbook.
yo, thank you so much for the follow. Whoever that was, thank you for the follow. Really appreciate it. Yeah. So I don't really have anything else that I want to do today, unless if unless if you guys have any questions. I just tried to adjust my hat. I don't know wearing a hat. There it is. There's my hat. Yeah. Does anybody have anything or anything that you want to work on? I think, or anything that you want to know about? I think before I do anything else, I'm going to save this patch. I'd say maybe like 6 or 7 hours, and 3 of those hours were from today. I think we'll call this base Nightshade because it was designed for this. Even though we didn't use this, it's still good. Nightshade. Midside generator. At what point do I usually start getting ear fatigue? I don't know. I try to listen at relatively low volumes, but I do have tinnitus, so there's that. But I've had tinnitus for a couple years now. And I don't necessarily know if it's from ear damage. I don't think that it is, because I usually listen to stuff at low volume, although I've had some like instances of like really loud shit happening. But I think that like I've had head injuries and stuff in the past. So I'm guessing that it's got something to do with that. Nightshade mid-side filter. Fuck. Wrong one. There we go. No. I just get ringing. I notice I don't hear very high frequencies very well in one of my ears. No, I've done like one of those tests where like I have like a hearing thing, and like if it's at really loud volume, then I can still hear all the way up to 20K. And like I haven't noticed like any like, you know what I mean, like dips and stuff, except for things that are like above 15K. So once 15K comes in, then like I have to like really pay attention, and then kind of, you know what I mean? Like I still kind of hear it, but it like almost feels like it's like I lose it and then I catch it and I'm like, oh, there it is. And then if I listen to it again, then I'm like, oh, I can hear it. But what are you doing? What are you doing, stream? Oh, okay. Yep, around there as well. Yeah, I think that's normal. But like the ringing sound that I have like is not in the normal hearing range. So like your normal hearing range is 0 to 15K or whatever, and I don't hear any like resonances that are around there. So there's that. It's usually like so high pitched. And sometimes it gets really loud, and sometimes it scares the shit out of me. But for the most part, I just kind of try to ignore it and relax and rest my ears and try to make sure that my ears are clean. I constantly clean my ears. And also like coffee, that'll make your ears buzz quite a bit. And I'm always drinking coffee, so I'll probably have another cup here in a second. I got a new coffee maker. It's a Ninja coffee maker. It can also do cold brew. That's pretty fucking sick. And yeah, it's dope. It's fucking cool. So there's that. But yeah, I think aside from this tune, like I said, does it chug coffee way too much? Yeah, stop drinking coffee. That'll help you out a lot. It's the caffeine that makes your ears like super tingly. But Yeah. Oh, there was one more thing that I wanted to do. I wanted to work on this right here, this part. So the... I think that on that section, I wanted to have some kind of like... I'm trying to think, like maybe maybe even something like this. It's like really short. And then have it cut out like right here. So. Okay, and then let's see if I can adjust this a bit on the decay. And then I'm gonna copy this here and just really quick and dirty like riser. Just have this lead up like this. This is the easiest way to make risers. Like sound design tutorials on risers should probably be this. Hey, on site. Hey, Levi. Dope, man. We're shaking bacon. Hey, Markov. Yeah, so I think that like in the future, making tunes like this hopefully will always be a pretty simple process. It should be hip hop. That's what this tune is. It's heavy hip hop with heavy sounds, and I think that as long as that is in play, then tunes like this should not be difficult. If you can find your sense of groove, then you will always be confident in what you make, because at least for me, in my opinion, like I found the gold in rhythm. If you have, yo, is that who I think it is? What up, Lee? How are you, man? This beat dummy. How's it going, man? I cannot believe that you're in here. What's up? Okay, I'm not gonna say who that is, but yo, man, can I just say, like, I'm really sorry for blowing up your DMs. I'd like to like publicly apologize. I did also send you a bunch of shit though, so there's that. Yeah, man, thank you so much for coming in. Let's run this back. That's really cool that you're in here. I am so sorry for blowing you up. I just I get really excited. So wait, you do realize though, like that, like this is all between you and Cage, right? I want to check everything out. Sorry, dude, no worries. But you do realize like this music is because of you and because of Cage and Zane, right? So if you like any of this stuff, like this is because of you, dude. So thank you. Oh, and by the way, like I don't know if you guys, I hope that like your master class is doing incredibly well, but just so that way you all know, like he has a master class within Ableton, and I've watched that shit religiously. So if you guys want to learn how to do all that stuff, like please, the South African people, like this is their genre. That's all I can say is people from South Africa, this is their shit. So learn from them. I was gonna ask, what would you consider doing another one in Bitwig? Yeah, I'll buy it. I will buy the fuck out of that. Yeah, the spectral suite. So like, you know how you guys have that trick where you resample like your drums. So and this is some of the stuff that I sent you. So like, please just, I don't know what you're doing right now, but please just like stick around for like 2 minutes, because there's some shit that I sent you that I think that that you'll have a lot of fun with. So on one end, I sent you some of these basses. Yeah, I've got a whole album that's done, dude, and like you'll hear a lot of shit that's like inspired by you, but these basses that I have, and they're like these hybrid basses. So like they start off as just a Reese or whatever, like this, and like you can do like just regular shit, right? But you have this filter that transitions this into like a neurobase filter or whatever, or like a neurobase sound. Yeah, like my entire album is operator bludgeoning. I know, right? Pretty much. But so if you turn the filter on, it'll do that. If you turn the movement on, then it will actually create phrases for you. And if you turn on the generator, then it will break everything and change it into just like fill effects and stuff. And then you've also got like a reverse on this. But the other thing that I recently added is that if you turn the downbeat on, then like it's pretty much like neurofying like a GABA kick, but it's all on the same patch. So you end up getting stuff like that. And so like if you combine everything together, so I don't know like if you've done stuff like this before, but I wanted to send like patches like this to you because if you have any like anything that you think that you could do with that, then I would love to know. So there's that. But the other thing that I was going to tell you was like when it comes to resampling like drums and stuff, kind of like how you guys have from the first place, if you throw your transient control on here and you throw one of these like snap heap racks, let me see, funnel. Sorry, not the transient control, it's supposed to be the transient split. So that sounds cool on its own, I think, but if you throw the transient split with these things on here, then you end up like having some really cool control between these. And so you kind of have to fuck with it, but and so sometimes with that too, playing between the tones and the transients on here can lead into some really cool and interesting things like this. Yeah, and so from all those racks, you can just switch up the multipass or the snap heap rack or whatever really, and just find a bunch of different stuff to play with in here. And been fiddling post-processing noise floor drums with the loud split. Yeah, the loud split is fucking really cool too. It's really good to make like a custom OTT like that. But the way that you can add distortion to like the quiet parts and the way that you can add distortion to the loud parts and the mid parts, I think is the most like definitely among the most useful tools within the spectral thing. I don't really like the frequency split, or is that what it is? Yeah, it's like the frequency split. That one's kind of samey, but even still, kind of have to mess with this sometimes. And then I don't know, yeah, not a fan of frequency split. I can see it being fun. Yeah, exactly. I don't know if you found replacements to like your clippers and stuff, but the newfangled saturate that's been money for me, just for like clipping things and whatnot. And then of course, like I ended up purchasing the glue, which I don't use very often, but every once in a while. Yeah, those are fucking awesome. Dude, I can't believe you came in, man. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me that you stepped in and just said what up. So thank you so much. Yeah, so I'm with this tune. I've been told to peep that. Yeah, I would get it on sale because it goes on sale like very often. But the newfangled saturate in general has been like, because it has a spectral clipping, because it has this thing called detail preservation. So it does a lot better at making your stuff squarified, as opposed to without you losing the detail, as opposed to, just like, which, there's a case in point with that. But yeah, but I don't know. It's been such a fun challenge, like taking a lot of stuff that like, because Aiden has been teaching me lessons, of course. But it's been such a fun challenge, like figuring out how to do all the shit that you guys were doing, but in Bitwig. And now that I figured a lot of it out, like by no means am I saying that I'm making music nearly on your guys' level, but what's really fun is now that I'm doing this kind of stuff, it's making me make sense about this even more so. And I think Aiden also switched to Bitwig, so being able to hopefully at some point like just kind of trade off like tips and stuff is really, I'm really looking forward to that. No, it's not even that. I just, like I said, yeah, I feel just fortunate that I've been able to come into contact with you all and just make tunes. That's what it's about for me, is I just want to make groovy tunes to do backflips to. That's my thing. But yeah, does anybody have any questions about anything? Or I mean, I can play you some of the other tunes that I made for this album that I'm working on, or yeah, I don't know, I'm kind of just chilling now. I think that I did everything that I wanted to with this tune, and there's one more like IDM kind of tune that I want to do. Big ups on your latest release, by the way. I listened to it, that was super cool. You have like, you're fucking nutty with Garage. Yeah, that tune is fucking crazy. Spangled. Really amazing stuff. Yeah, I guess I'll play one more tune, and then if anybody has any questions on anything, you guys can always hit me up. I'm just trying to be helpful and stuff. I reached out to Thomas as well, because Thomas Saruta, because I know that he streams from time to time, and I'm hoping that he does a masterclass and stuff again soon as well. I remember him saying that he was wanting to redo it. So the more that I can promote you all, or promote the Saturate crew, or Aiden, or Zane, like I really just want to use this channel for that, to be like, hey everybody, look at these people, look at all that stuff. So yeah, I'll play this tune, and then I don't really have anything else going on, but check your DMs. I'm so sorry for the spam. Oh, you did? Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. Yeah, that's awesome. That clipper is well worth it. Dope, dude. If it's okay, I'll send you a message. I'll try not to bother you, but yo, thank you, Mike. I really appreciate that. Yeah, so that's what the little vocal-ish thing is to me. So I record my own vocals, and I actually did that on this track as well. And what I do is I set up like a small generator that doesn't like fuck up the pitch too bad. But what ends up happening is when you use like delays and stuff, you can get some really interesting textures even with like shitty vocal recordings. So like I have this little guy right here, which is nothing spectacular, but if you just listen to this, I'm just really compressing the hell out of these vocals, which is just corny. You know,
What?
you know,
You think you tough?
just shit like that. But if you have these kind of racks like this set up with just frequency shifters and like really short convolution reverb, and you turn this on, then when you start to move the convolver around,
You think you tough?
I gotta turn this back on, but you end up getting some really cool like textures and stuff that you can use. So that's how you end up getting like, you know, pretty easy to use textures and all that. And one thing with that I will say with the frequency shifter is like whenever you do this, like start up and then go down, because otherwise it gets like really ear piercing. Dip in for a bit to do some stuff. Let's chat on Discord. Yeah, dude, thank you again, man. I really appreciate you coming in. I was really worried that I fucking bombarded you. So thank you so much for just coming in and saying what up. And obviously it's a treat for chat as well. So I'll catch up with you, dude. Thank you so much. So yeah, with these vocals, it's kind of just playing along with the delay, because that'll change the pitch as well. And then if you have the feedback set, then it will kind of give you some of that like ringing out noises as well. And by doing that, you can get some really interesting kind of sounds and shit that even if the recording is terrible, it's really just for percussive value, I'd say. So it doesn't have to be anything along the sort of like, oh, it's got to be this like clean rap acapella deal, whatever. Just use your own shit, because most of the time, at least in the examples that I've heard with this kind of music anyways, it's all just like, you know, meant for rhythm. So if you know, have like a crappy mic or your phone, you can just toss that in. And something that does help is like if you're going to do stuff like this, like if you can rap to your tempo, or you can say words to your tempo. So like, yes, 1, 2, do 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 boop boop do do boo. Like you could even record that. I'm not going to do that, but you could do that and then process it, and it'll be usable because the processing of effects that you have within here are all in time. Like all of these right here are all in time. So anything that you get is going to be usable and rhythmic within your tune. The best case scenario would be to just like do some like vocals over the drums, so that way you can get the little like syncopation intricacies. So if you're talking over this, yeah, I'm gonna rap, I got facts, how about that? Yeah, sitting here thinking that my shirt's all black, you know what I mean? Something like that. So also you avoid copyright problem. Yeah, and that's exactly why I record my own stuff, is because I want to avoid that. But if you have, you know what I mean, even if it doesn't sound good and it sounds like your voice is like whiny or whatever, which, you know, I have that self-consciousness about me, you can still transform it into something that becomes more like lively with this kind of tune anyways, right? Because like the whole vibe of this is supposed to be about hip-hop. At least for me, it's about the groove. It's all about the groove. I'm trying to figure out Hornet's Euclidean sequencer. The manual is a bit limited. Yeah, I love this. I'm trying to figure out Hornets. What's Hornet? Are you talking about the ring mod? I don't, or is that hardware that you're talking about? But yeah, does anybody have anything for me or any other things? I think I'm gonna go ahead and export this, because I don't really know what else to do with this other than like go back and have somebody with fresh ears listen to the mix. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys just hanging out with me today and having some fun. You think you mean Hayakin? Yeah, what? I think he means Hoya. Can I get a Hoya? No, I'm just kidding. I don't need one of those. I asked a lot already. I'm good. Recording your own voice makes you experiment in a lot of ways. It lets you correct with the tune more. Big ups. Excited for the release. Thanks, guys. Like the Hornet Italian plugin, One Man Company. Yeah, I thought Hornet was just the Ring mod. I'm excited too. I've got 8 tunes that are relatively done, and they're all kind of same vibe. This was more of a skit. And then this one is just an 8-bit halftime tune as a meme to... Yeah, it's super funny. And then this tune is more so of like it's not a halftime tune. It's kind of like a free composed thing, but it's meant to be as a transition. Do I ever listen to White Bear on his new alias form? No, I've never listened or heard of White Bear in general. But I will go listen to him, especially if it's do you have any promotional tactic in mind? Not really. I mean, like, I have a YouTube channel with 14,000 subscribers, and I'm hoping that, like, if I post something, like I post some tunes or whatever, then, yo, DMTR, what's good, man? How's it going? All right, well, we got to run this tune back one more time for him. We have a release coming out today? Is it today? I think. Can I finally play that tune? Is it done? Can I finally play Effigy? Yo, yeah. So DMTR and I have our first release. He's also been working on some music, and he's also one of my teachers. He's taught me so much shit about drums. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll play this tune for you guys, and then I think that him and I have a tune that's releasing today. Dude, I'm good, man. I'm really good. I've just been really having fun with making music, and I hope that you have been too. And I've just been grinding at the channel, just having fun. DMTR, wait, I think I can just pull it up. He streams from time to time. It's not all the time, but hold on one second. Twitch.tv/DMTR Beats. Yeah, sweet. So I will say that him and I have...
but it's not enough to get a pat on the back.
Him and I have a collaboration that's coming out today, I believe. But I will say that he did most of the work. I sent him a drum loop, and then he pretty much made a whole tune, and then like I made a couple of little suggestions, and he did all that. But I'll play this tune for you, DMCR, and then we'll play Effigy, and then I'm not really sure where we can get it, but it's a free download, so yeah. Yeah. This was meant to be. Well, it was inspired by Shades. You know that tune from Ivy Lab, Sleaze. I wanted to make something kind of in a similar style, and of course, again, I'm not Ivy Lab, I'm not Shades, but what I loved about that tune was that it was incredibly simple, right? It was a kick, snare, hat, and then pretty much just the riff, and like there was little ad libs and stuff throughout. But I was like, man, if I could just figure out how to make these like sub basses and stuff big, right? Then I feel like I could carry the entire groove, right? Because that's really what it is. Like that's kind of how Halftime started, at least in my opinion. Like especially with the Ivy Lab scene and all that, it was just one little melody, and it was like, oh damn, this is sick. And so trying to embody that, and then also with the MPC, right, of just making one big melody or one big riff and just ripping the beat like that. And that's kind of, there's that. I'm not saying that what I'm doing is hot shit by any means, but it was a lot of fun to make, so I'll say that. So yeah, that was for him. Let's go ahead and play Effigy, and this is the tune that's releasing with us. I think this is the master, I want to say. But yeah, this was something that we did back in June, I think. And this is mostly him. So I did a few things, but this is mostly him. Yeah, no worries. I'm just giving credit, bro. Just giving credit. So yeah, this is going to be available sometime today for free download. DMCR, you smashed this one, dude. And you should check out his other music too. It's really fucking good. Like, you've always been good. So there's that. What a treat, man. Had some really awesome people come in stream, and we finished another cool tune. I'm so lucky, man. That's all I can say. Thank you all so much for being here. Does anybody have any last questions before we wrap the stream up? I need to eat something, and I don't really have anything else that I need to cover today as far as this project goes. I'm trying, dude. Just trying to play catch up, you know, trying to make better beats and trying to make shit that's going to make people bob their head in the back of the club with a blunt torched. That's the goal. Is I just want somebody with a hat low and just, you know, right? That's the vibe I'm going for anyways. But yeah, I don't really have anything else, at least today. I do want to do one more tune. Yeah, exactly. I do want to do one more tune, but it's probably not going to be a halftime tune. It will probably be like an IDM tune or whatever, just because this whole album that I'm working on, that is pretty much, it's almost done. It's not done quite yet, but yeah, I want this album to just be an embodiment of like where I'm at in production and the things that I've learned, and it's got a little bit of everything. And yeah, I just want to be able to celebrate like making some fun shit for people to hopefully enjoy. And if not, like I made it for me, so there's that. I don't know, it's weird, like talking about music releases and stuff, it doesn't, I don't know, I always think like, why should anybody care? But even still, I'm having a great time, and I hope that you guys are too. And more importantly, I hope that you guys are learning something while I do this production. Yeah, man, like I said, hats off to him. He was just like, yo, is it okay if I just take liberty? And I was like, go for it, man. I wrote like, I think I sent him a drum loop, and then he transformed it into what it is now. And then I sent him a couple sections that had some melodic things, and he kept it. And then everything else is pretty much him. I had maybe like one or two suggestions, and he pretty much wrote the tune. So full transparency. Can't take credit for something I didn't do. But in that sense, I think that between us, we came out with something that was really special. And this is really cool too, because DMCR and I have started a couple of collabs in the past, and this was the first one to actually come through. So I'm glad that we were able to make it work. And that's what's really important for me, is to just, I don't really care if we even finish things or not, but I think that like being able to make music with your friends and like being able to like make suggestions or to like teach each other shit, like that's what it's all about for me. And so that's why this kind of is like really special, because people that come in here, it's not, I'm not going to get all sentimental or anything, but I don't want you guys to feel like, oh, it's Alckemy stream. It's like, no, this is our stream. This is, yeah, dude, definitely. Let's talk about that. And then we'll have you on the stream, and then we could talk about what we did together and stuff. Let's definitely do that in celebration of our thing. I'm kind of busy the next few days, but maybe next week would be fucking awesome. Besides, like, come on the channel, dude. Please come on the channel. I love to have you on here. Y'all inspired me today. Yeah, I'm glad you did too, man. It was super cool. All of you guys, thank you so much for being here. But yeah, like this, like I'm not up here, I'm not down here. We're all kind of here together, and I love that we can like have this middle ground to talk about music. And you know, if you guys are doing stuff, I want to promote you and make your platform, or like help you build your platform, because I think that's the best way to go about it. So there's that. But anyways, I think on that note, much love to you all. Thank you so much. Please stay tuned for the album stuff, because it's coming. I need to do mixing and mastering, and I've been sending it to labels and stuff to see if anybody's going to take it. But until then, you know, there's that. But much love, guys. I will be online tomorrow night and Friday. So yeah, bye everybody.